Hi, this is Katie. I'm in a very busy parking lot today, so there's gonna be cars everywhere, people everywhere. There's somebody pulling up right next to me. Are they parking? Cool. Okay, they're gone. So in today's video, I wanted to do a Q&A for you guys, and these are all travel questions that I've gotten in the past few days, so they're on my phone, and let's just get started. The first question is from Caroline. Caroline? I don't know the difference between those words, like in how they're spelled, so it's one of those. But she asked, what is your favorite thing about traveling? I feel like I should have thought about this before I put the camera on, because I honestly don't know. I honestly think that my favorite part about traveling is just experiencing new places. I really like trying out new restaurants, except I actually hate trying out new restaurants because I get really nervous that I'm gonna get sick because I have a gluten allergy, but I love afterwards. Like, oh, I didn't get sick and that was delicious. That's awesome. That's one of my favorite parts. I was actually realizing that the other day when I was telling somebody about the places that I've lived, and I'm like, oh yeah, I love Portland because they had this restaurant that I liked and this restaurant that I liked, and Austin had these places, and San Diego had this awesome pizza place. Like, I remember places by the food I ate there. Oh, like Chicago, guys. I remember two things about Chicago: the concert that I went there for, and donuts. That's all I remember about Chicago. I mean, a few other things, obviously, but the things that really stand out in my mind, actually the number one thing that stands out in my mind about Chicago is that they have a place that has gluten-free donuts. So I really like experiencing new food. It just makes me nervous the first time I eat it because there's always a chance I can get sick, but I do like eating new food. And honestly, like the scenery, that's why I love Montana and Wyoming so much, and Utah, because it's just beautiful. And California, obviously, there's gorgeous places on the East Coast as well, but I just generally prefer the scenery out on the West Coast. So yeah, I'd say food and scenery. Yeah, that's my favorite thing about traveling. And just even finding new places, like random little places that you love. Like my favorite place in Nashville is called Dragon Park. I don't know if that's the official name, but there's just a park with these giant mosaic dragons. It's at a park. I think there's like a jungle gym and stuff too, but there's just these giant mosaic dragons and it's awesome. And it was just always my favorite place there. And if I never really explored Nashville, I probably would have never found it. So I like all that stuff. The food, the scenery, exploring, and meeting new people, obviously. So basically everything. The answer is everything. Hi, it's Johnny. Asked two questions. The first one is, when it comes to traveling long distances, do you ever make sure your car is ready for the ride? Yes, absolutely. If I'm driving more than like 5 hours away, I always make sure that I have enough oil. That's like, you have to make sure that. But if I'm driving more than like 5 hours away, I will just bring my car into like a Jiffy Lube or the Toyota dealership, because I have a Toyota, and just kind of have them check it over, make sure that everything's okay, make sure like all the fluids are good and that like my brakes work and that my tires are okay and things like that. So yeah, definitely do that if you're going on a road trip. I'd just say more than a few hours long. And his second question is, any experience with AAA while traveling across states? No. Knock on wood. I totally just jinxed myself. I have cardboard. I feel like I don't even want to talk about this because I'm going to jinx it, but no, I have never needed AAA. Once I locked my keys in my car, this is a funny story. Let me tell you the story. I was in Salt Lake. Omaha. I was in Omaha. So once I was driving from Portland to New York, and I had to stop in Omaha for like gas, and I was going to stop for lunch and things like that. And I stopped at this burger place that had gluten-free burgers, and I was very, very excited about it. And my keys at the time were on a carabiner clip. And so I took my keys out of the ignition and I walked out of my car, and then I locked my car from like the little side panel on the door. But I always like double check, and I lock my car with my key after I get out of the car, just as like a safety thing. I don't know, I think it's just become like a habit at this point. So I got out of my car, locked my car, shut my door, and then I went to grab my key because I had my carabiner in my hand. I went to grab my car key and it wasn't there. And I was like, what the heck? My keys were in my hand. I just got out of the car and I looked in my car, and my car key fell off the carabiner and was sitting on my driver's seat. Oh, guys, I was like, okay, well, now what? So I was about to call AAA, or maybe I did call them, or a locksmith or somebody. I was on the phone with somebody. And then this guy came up to me. Mind you, I'm in Nebraska. So like, you can trust when people come up to you because it's Nebraska and people are nice there. And so this guy came up to me. He's like, do you need help? And I'm like, oh, I locked my car key in my car. He's like, oh, I work at a car dealership or at like a brake shop or something. He worked somewhere with cars. And he's like, and I have the thingy thing to break into your car, and I can get your key if you want. And I'm like, okay, I can trust you, stranger, while I'm alone and I'm in Nebraska. So he left to get his stuff, and I waited for like 15 minutes, and he came back and he opened my car door and he got my key, and then I went and ate a freaking delicious burger, and that was the whole story. And it was so awesome. This guy was so nice. And while he was doing it, his son was with him, who was like, I don't remember, like 10 or 12 or something. And he was like, oh, my dad's always helping out people. Like, they were just such nice guys. And so, yeah, so that's my story about that. So I never had to actually call AAA, and I never actually had a real problem besides that. And that's it. Ostabrix asked, what is the longest you've gone not sleeping? I have no idea. Not that long. Probably just like not sleeping one full night. So maybe 36 hours? I don't know. I generally have to sleep. I don't really sleep that well. I wake up a lot when I sleep, but I generally can't stay awake for that long. So I think about 36 hours. And that was probably like a really, really, really long time ago. And the last question is from Michael Foreman, and he asked, do you ever black out the windows to make it easier to sleep? I feel like I've had a lot of questions like this, or just inquiries or comments of like, oh, why don't you tint your windows? Or why don't you get curtained or something? Honestly, guys, and maybe I should, but like, I don't really have an issue or a worry of people watching me while I sleep. Like, that's not a thing. I don't think when I'm in a parking lot, oh, what if somebody sees me? I just don't have that for some reason. I don't know. But also, like, on the flip side of that, I don't need pitch black to sleep at all. So that's really never a thing that I've had to deal with. So no. So the answer is no. I've never blacked out my windows. I've never even really thought about it because I can just kind of sleep anywhere. And as I just mentioned, I wake up every 3 hours anyway. So I don't really ever feel unsafe doing that. And that is it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments any other questions you have, because I'm going to do 1 or 2 more for the rest of the year. So like, make them really good questions. I want to do like a long one for next week as my last one for the year. And subscribe if you're not already, because I'm putting out videos Monday through Friday for the rest of the year, which is only like another week and a half. That's so crazy. And that is it. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay, I always check after my videos to make sure I didn't have lipstick on my teeth, because that's a thing that I worry about now. And I don't have anybody around to tell me that I have lipstick on my teeth, so. Okay.